Not the casual, I need space kind of retreat, but the full-blown, heart-pounding, I'd rather wrestle a bear than face these feelings kind of sprint. That's the divine masculine in the twin flame dance, part poet, part paradox, all fear and fire wrapped in a human suit. He's the one who looks into your eyes and sees eternity staring back, then bolts like his soul's on fire. But here's the million-dollar question. What finally makes him stop running? Is it loneliness, divine intervention, or that moment when he realizes the woman he left behind isn't just moving on, she's glowing up without him? The divine masculine doesn't just doubt twin flames. He wages a full-scale war against the idea. Why? Because love this real doesn't ask for his heart. It demands his surrender. And nothing terrifies a man more than admitting he's not in control, especially when the thing he's trying to control is the one force in the universe that cannot be tamed. Here's the secret. His resistance isn't about whether the connection is real. It's about whether he's ready to be real in it. The twin flame mirror doesn't just show him your light. It reflects every shadow he's spent a lifetime avoiding. And facing that, well, that's the bravest thing he'll ever do. So, if you've ever wondered, will he ever wake up? Breathe. The divine masculine's awakening isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And this article, consider it your backstage pass to the moment the universe flips the script, the penny drops, and the man who swore twin flames were a fantasy finally whispers, "Oh, this is what love really is." You'd think he'd be happy. The promotions, the accolades, the admiring glances, everything society told him would bring fulfillment. And yet, there's this emptiness. A quiet, gnawing void no amount of external validation can fill. He laughs at parties, charms at meetings, maybe even dates someone new, but it's all just background noise. Because deep down in the unlit corners of his soul, he knows none of it matters if she's not there to share it with him. He tells himself, maybe I just need more success, more money, more distractions. So he climbs higher, hustles harder, stacks achievements like sandbags against a flood. But the higher he goes, the lonelier it gets. Ever seen a man stand at the peak of a mountain only to realize he forgot to bring someone to say, "Look how far we've come"? That's the divine masculine in his success era. King of a kingdom that feels like a beautifully decorated prison. And then, in the quiet hours, wake-up calls, when the ego's defenses are down, the truth whispers, you miss her. Not just her laugh, her touch, but the way she saw him. Not the mask, not the title, but the raw, unfiltered him. The one who didn't need to perform. The one who could just be. Isn't it ironic? He ran from the twin flame connection because it felt too intense, too all-consuming. Yet here he is, consumed anyway, not by love, but by the absence of it. He traded a love that demanded his soul for a life that only demands his time. And the universe, ever the trickster, lets him play the game until he realizes he's been chasing the wrong prize. Think of it like ordering a gourmet meal and only eating the garnish. The plate looks pretty, but where's the nourishment? That's his life without her. A 5-star experience with no flavor. There comes a moment, maybe during a silent drive home, maybe in the middle of a crowded room, when the facade cracks. He's tired. Not the kind sleep fixes, but the kind that makes him question. What's the point of all this if I'm still alone? That's the soul's last-ditch effort to wake him up. And here's the kicker. He can't unknow it now. Once the heart admits what it truly wants, there's no going back to pretending. He could win a Nobel Prize, and it wouldn't hit the same as hearing her say, "I'm proud of you." Meanwhile, she's evolving, growing, maybe even thriving without him. And that terrifies him. Because if she's whole on her own, then what was his resistance really about? Fear of losing her? Or fear of facing himself? This is where the twin flame journey gets deliciously cruel, in the best way. The universe won't let him settle. It'll keep poking that emptiness until he admits, fine, maybe she wasn't the problem. Maybe I was. So when does he finally believe? When he stops running, not because he's caught, but because he's exhausted. When the loneliness of life without her outweighs the fear of what it means to fully love her. When he realizes no amount of gold can gild a hollow heart. And then he'll turn back. Not because he has to, but because he wants to. Because the truth was never hidden, just buried under layers of pride, fear, and societal scripts that told him love was a weakness. But here's the secret. Love was never the weakness. Running from it was. So, Divine Feminine, if you're reading this, breathe. He's getting there. Maybe not on your timeline, but on the right one. And when he finally stops running, he won't just believe in twin flames, he'll know it, bone deep and unshakable. Because nothing teaches a man the value of love like living without it. You know what's terrifying to a man who spent his whole life believing he's the one who needs to be needed, watching the woman he once thought would crumble without him not crumble. In fact, watching her thrive, glow brighter, stand taller, laugh louder, while he's still stuck in the same old loop of avoidance. Oh, the irony. The divine masculine runs because he thinks the connection is too much, but the universe, in its infinite sense of humor, gives him exactly what he claims to want, space. And then, plot twist, he realizes space isn't freedom, it's just distance. And distance doesn't kill the connection, it magnifies it. Picture this, he walks away thinking, she'll never move on, not really. Not from us. Then one day, he catches a glimpse of her, maybe in a mutual friend's photo, maybe in a random dream. And who is this woman? She's radiant, unshaken, maybe even dating someone new. The audacity. And suddenly, his carefully constructed narrative, she'll wait, implodes. Because she's not waiting, she's living, and nothing kicks a man's soul into gear like the fear of actually losing her for good. It's like spending years refusing to drink water, and suddenly noticing everyone else is hydrated, glowing, and not constantly exhausted. And it hits him. Wait, was I the problem all along? Here's the beautiful, brutal truth. The divine feminine's growth isn't just for her, it's for him too. Her evolution is the mirror he's been avoiding. Because while he's been out here playing emotional hide and seek, she's been doing the work. The shadow work, the self-love work, the I refuse to settle for half-love work. And the more she heals, the more his excuses sound hollow, even to himself. So here he is, standing at the crossroads of his own making. Do I keep pretending I don't miss her? Or do I finally admit that watching her move on without me is unbearable? Pride says, stay gone. Fear says, what if she rejects you now? But the soul whispers, What if she's the one thing you've been running toward this whole time by running away? And that's when it clicks. Her growth wasn't a threat. It was an invitation. Hey, the water's fine over here. Are you ever gonna jump in? Let's be real. Nothing humbles a man faster than realizing the woman he took for granted is now the woman he can't reach. Not because she's closed off, but because she's healthy. She's not chasing, she's not begging, she's just being. And that's the ultimate test of his awakening. Because love isn't about control. It's about choice. And for the first time, he has to ask himself, do I love her enough to become the man she doesn't have to wait for? Here's a secret the divine feminine has always known. His return was never about her worth. It was about his readiness. And when he finally sees her, truly sees her, not as a missing piece, but as a whole person who chooses him anyway, that's when the runner stops running. That's when the believer is born. So, divine feminine, if you're reading this, keep shining, keep growing, because the light you're cultivating isn't just for you, it's the beacon that guides him home. And divine masculine, when you're ready, she's already there, not where you left her, but exactly where she's meant to be. The question is, will you meet her there? Let's talk about the moment the divine masculine actually gets it. Not because he read some blog post or heard a convincing argument, but because the universe decides it's time to blow his mind open. You know how some people need to touch the stove to believe it's hot? Well, imagine the universe is the stove, and his stubbornness is the hand hovering over it, and, yep, suddenly he's wide awake, shaking his fingers, going, okay, I believe you. At first, it's subtle. Maybe he starts noticing coincidences that don't feel like coincidences. Numbers follow him like the universe is tapping him on the shoulder, clearing its throat, saying, hey, you seeing this? But he brushes it off, just numbers. Then dreams start, vivid Technicolor dreams where she's there, or some version of her, or some version of him that he doesn't even recognize yet. He wakes up with his heart pounding, a name on his lips, a feeling he can't shake, and still he resists. It's just stress. It's just loneliness. It's just... Then bam, the universe, tired of whispering, shouts. For some, it's a breakup. Not just any breakup, but the kind that feels like a spiritual eviction. For others, it's a health scare, a near-death experience, or a sudden loss that cracks his armor wide open. And for the really stubborn ones, it's psychedelics. Picture this. He's sitting there, minding his business, when suddenly, whoosh, his entire perception of reality shifts. Time isn't linear. Love isn't finite. And that woman he's been running from, she's not just a person. She's a soul mirror, a cosmic checkpoint, a living, breathing reminder that he's been sleepwalking through his own life. And now he's awake. Of course, the mind fights back. Twin flames? Soul connections? That's some new age nonsense. But here's the thing. Once you feel it, you can't unfeel it. It's like trying to convince yourself the sky isn't blue after you've spent your whole life seeing it as gray. The truth doesn't need his belief to exist. It just needs his attention. And when he finally gives it, oh, the irony. The man who spent years rolling his eyes at woo-woo spirituality is now the one falling down the rabbit hole of synchronicities, past life regressions, and wait, does this mean we're actually... This is where the magic happens. The moment he stops asking, "Is this real?" and starts asking, "What does this mean for me?" That's the shift. That's the awakening. Because belief isn't a light switch. It's a sunrise, slow, inevitable, and impossible to ignore once it's begun. And when it fully dawns on him, when he realizes that she wasn't the distraction, she was the destination, that's when the runner stops running. That's when the skeptic becomes the believer. So, Divine Feminine, if you're reading this, trust the process. The universe isn't just working on your heart, it's working on his. And when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Or in this case, when the Divine Masculine is ready, the truth does. And Divine Masculine, when you finally get it, when the pieces click and the walls fall and you see what's been in front of you all along, don't panic. Don't overthink it. Just breathe and maybe say hello. You ever watch someone walk away from a perfectly good umbrella in a rainstorm? That's the Divine Masculine in the twin flame journey, stubbornly strutting through the downpour, chin up, pretending he doesn't notice he's soaked to the bone. "I'm fine," he insists, while his shoes squish with every step. But here's the thing about rain. Eventually, it seeps in. And that's when it hits him. He left his shelter behind. At first, regret is quiet, a nagging thought in the shower, a flicker of memory when a certain song plays. What if I'd stayed? What if I'd said yes instead of running? But ego is a master of deflection. Nah, it wasn't right. Timing was off. She was too intense. So he tucks the questions away, like old receipts he's sure he won't need. Until life humbles him with a thunderclap. Maybe it's a failed relationship that makes him realize she was the one who understood him. Maybe it's a milestone, a birthday, a promotion, where her absence feels louder than any applause. Or maybe it's just the quiet of an empty bed, where the ghost of her warmth mocks his pride. And then the dam breaks. Regret doesn't knock politely. It kicks the door in, drags him to the mirror, and forces him to stare at the man he's become. The one who traded love for fear. The one who mistook vulnerability for weakness, depth for danger. And the reflection. It's brutal. Because now he sees. She wasn't the storm. She was the shelter. And he walked right out of it. Ever seen a dog chase its tail, only to collapse, dizzy and frustrated? That's him, finally exhausted by his own avoidance. What was I even running from? The answer, of course, is himself. Here's the twist. She wasn't some passive prize waiting on a shelf. She was alive, evolving, maybe even healing without him. And that's the knife twist of regret. Realizing she wasn't the one who needed fixing. He was, and now he's stuck with the gut punch question. Did I lose her? Or did I lose myself when I left her? But regret isn't just pain, it's data. It's the universe's way of saying, see? This is what happens when you ignore your soul. And for the Divine Masculine, that's the turning point. Because regret only lingers when the lesson hasn't been learned. Once he gets it, once he owns his part in the story, the weight lifts. Suddenly, the past isn't a life sentence, it's a compass. So here's the good news. Regret doesn't have to be the end. It can be the fuel, the never again that propels him toward courage. Maybe he reaches out, maybe he starts therapy, maybe he just sits with the ache until it softens into wisdom. But one thing's certain. He'll never take love for granted again. And if she's still there, if the universe gives him another shot, Oh, he'll leap. Not because he's desperate, but because he's finally awake. Breathe. His regret isn't your burden to carry, but it is proof. Proof that what you shared wasn't an illusion. It mattered. You mattered. And whether he finds his way back or not, his awakening is his own. And to the divine masculine, the door isn't locked, but you'll have to knock this time. Too close to home, or just the kind of tough love that sparks transformation. Either way, regret is just love's way of saying, wake up. The question is, will you listen? You ever watch a kid try to force a square block into a round hole? Red-faced, determined, absolutely committed to making it fit through sheer willpower? That's the divine masculine in the twin flame journey, convinced he can outsmart, outrun, or outmaneuver the universe's timeline. I'll come back when I'm ready, he declares, as if readiness is something he can schedule between his ego's meetings and his fear's lunch break. But here's the cosmic punchline. You don't get to decide when you're ready. The universe does. He thinks he's got it all figured out. I'll heal first, then reach out. I'll get my career stable, then focus on love. As if life is a checklist and the universe is waiting for his permission slip. But love doesn't work like a spreadsheet, and the soul doesn't care about 5-year plans. Try to schedule a spiritual awakening like a dentist appointment, and the universe will laugh so hard it sends you a flat tire, a sudden breakup, or an existential crisis. Whatever it takes to remind you, sweetheart, you're not the one driving this bus. And after enough resistance, enough white-knuckling the steering wheel only to crash into the same emotional walls, he finally gets it. Surrender isn't defeat. It's the ultimate trust fall. It hits him in fragments. Maybe he's replaying old conversations, realizing how many times he ignored her patience, her grace, her waiting. Maybe he stumbles across an old photo and feels a pang of, why did I walk away? Or maybe, and this one's the kicker, he meets someone new and discovers, with a sinking heart, that no one else makes him feel the way she did. That's when the penny drops. This wasn't about her. This was about me refusing to accept that some connections are written in ink, not pencil. Here's the secret the divine feminine has always known. The separation wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Every detour, every delay, every not yet was sandpaper smoothing his rough edges, teaching him the patience he'd need to love her the way she deserved. Because timing isn't just about when. It's about who you've become by the time you get there. So what does surrender look like? It's not passive. It's not, I give up. It's, I trust. It's him releasing the death grip on his own agenda and whispering, okay, show me what's next. It's the moment he stops demanding a roadmap and starts following the breadcrumbs of synchronicity. It's the deep, unshakable knowing that if this love is real, if it's meant, then it will find its way. No force, no rush, no fear. And here's the miracle. The second he stops resisting, everything shifts. Opportunities appear, blockages dissolve. And that woman he's been orbiting like a distant planet, suddenly, she's within reach. Not because he chased, but because he aligned. I know. You've been the one holding faith while he figured it out. You've been the lighthouse while he navigated his storm. But here's your reminder. His surrender isn't your responsibility. Your only job? To stay true to your worth. To trust that if it's meant, it will meet you, both of you, where you are. and to the divine masculine? The universe isn't asking you to be perfect, just present. The rest? That's grace. The universe's resume includes billions of years of flawless timing. Maybe it knows what it's doing. You know that moment in a storm when the wind suddenly stills and the world holds its breath, when the chaos settles just long enough for you to hear your own heartbeat again. That's what happens when the divine masculine finally believes in twin flames. Not as a concept, not as a fleeting fantasy, but as the undeniable truth that's been humming beneath his ribs all along. It's not a dramatic epiphany. It's a quiet knowing, soft as a sigh, solid as stone. Oh, it was always you. This isn't about grand gestures or scripted reunions. It's about the way he looks at her one ordinary Tuesday and realizes he's tired, not of her, but of running from what she represents. Love, wholeness, the mirror that shows him his own divinity. And in that moment, the walls he spent years building crumble not with a roar, but with a whisper. Enough. Imagine spending your whole life squinting at a blurry photograph, convinced it's the best you'll ever see, only to finally wipe the lens and gasp at the clarity. That's belief. That's surrender. That's the divine masculine understanding, perhaps for the first time, that love isn't a threat to his autonomy. It's the key to it. Here's the secret. He didn't need more time, more success, or more proof. He just needed to stop pretending he wasn't already hers. Every synchronicity, every moment of longing, every sleepless night spent wrestling with her memory, they weren't obstacles. They were breadcrumbs leading him back to the one truth that terrifies and liberates in equal measure. Some bonds are written in the stars, and no amount of human stubbornness can erase them. And when he finally accepts that, oh, the irony, the man who once feared losing himself in love discovers that's exactly where he's found. As for you, you were never just waiting, you were growing. And whether he's standing before you now or still finding his way, your love was never contingent on his readiness. You loved. You love. That's your superpower. But here's the thing about powers. They don't expire. They expand. So keep shining. Keep trusting. Keep knowing that the right love doesn't ask you to dim your light. It learns to match your frequency. This isn't a test. There's no failing, only learning. And if today's lesson is just a flicker of what if, that's enough. The universe can work with a flicker. It's how stars are born. Twin flames aren't about finding your other half. They're about remembering you were whole all along and choosing someone who makes that wholeness sing. So when the divine masculine finally believes, it's not because the heavens parted or the angels sang. It's because he looked inward and found the courage to say, maybe love isn't the risk I feared. Maybe it's the home I've been seeking. And home, dear soul, isn't a place you find. It's a truth you allow. So tell me, what's your heart whispering today? Listen closely. That's not just your voice. That's the universe winking at you from the shadows, holding the pen to your next chapter. All you have to do, turn the page.